game. And speaking of games, the game is underway.
Yeah, let's actually go into the draft here. Zenith is going to be on the Radiant side, and Orange Esport is going to be on Die. Of course, this is the Alienware Cup lower bracket, best of 3 series. Loser go home, and they go home with $1,500, but they definitely want to stay alive and keep fighting on. What are some of the interesting heroes? And wow, look at the bans here. Of course, it's a Naga Siren being banned out quite early from Orange Esport, but Zenith show like they did their homework. Extinct's Visage being banned out, and they also ban out the Razor. This is a hero that they used to counter against Lifestealer, against LGD International. We haven't seen any other hero in the entire tournament, or any other team in the entire tournament use this one, but seems like they know this hero is so powerful, but they just want to deal with it.
I understand that. Like, you don't want your tactics used against you, especially when you understand the tactics so well that you know that static link destroys Lifestealer. You can't rage out of it. You can't rage. I mean, you can't escape from it with rage, because even if you rage, you can pop static link on a BKB.
I'm pretty sure you could be infested in a creep and it'll still like link
there's no way out of it.
Yeah.
I think if we look at the first 2 picks, ignore the Outball Devourer for a second, and if you look at the first 2 picks, you can clearly know what each team is going for. Orange went for the 2 supports, just straight away. Possibly that could be an X Assassin mid, but without the Outball Devourer, it's out of the question. So Orange wants to secure the supports that have certain abilities to roam. Rubik not the best roamer in the game, but with an X Assassin, suddenly you have to be careful. It's going to be a lane you probably will not be able to jump to. While Zenith, on the other hand, secures probably the best offlaner in the game, in Darkseer, and Lifestealer, which will mean lots of power in the mid game, to late game as well. And if they can find a couple of supports to help the Darkseer as well, they will have decent lanes.
Yeah, I think Lifestealer really forces Orange's hand in terms of support. Nyx Assassin, Rubik are not the support you want against Nyx Assassin, or Lifestealer, excuse me, because you really can't actually make a go on him. Impel, you could rage through it. Lift is not going to be at least too effective. You can actually lift when you're in the air, and before you get tossed down. And he's just actually one of the most annoying hero to deal with. So I do like the OD as an answer, because Lifestealer in the mid to late game have a huge issue dealing with OD's Force Staff, dealing with an Astral Imprisonment, and the lockdown being picked up here by
The only
Zenith.
thing is that when Lifestealer is raging, the OD pretty much has to run away from him, because OD becomes just a big range creep.
He has 2 escape spells.
Yes, he does.
One in the Astral Imprisonment, one in the Force Staff.
That he'll be
and the cool thing is, it's not just for himself, it's for his allies as well.
Right.
So I feel like he is so good against Lifestealer, because you can actually kind of kite him for even more than 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So, and it's not even hard to do so. And that's why I like Zenith's next follow-up. Beastmaster gives them the long-range knockdown they need, especially against OD. And then with that, they should be able to actually burst him down. Also, the attack speed aura, very helpful to Lifestealer.
Yes.
You could definitely initiate off like the Hawk. You could infest into Hawk and just
that's a
Korean air squad yourself in there and for some Lifestealer bombs. So it's definitely quite refreshing to see a Beastmaster. We haven't seen him too much.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the very, very nice mid heroes that will struggle a lot against our Devourer. But I think this is one of those situations where you actually go on max aura, because you know you will not be able to spam the axis that much. You still want the axis at level 3 because you'll still have some mana, but after level 5 you just will be constantly with the 1 intelligence, and by that point maybe just getting the aura to push the lane will help you get some rune control and just try and get the level 6 for the gank.
We do see Weaver being picked up here as possibly the off-lane row here for himself. We definitely saw the Darkseer Weaver matchup yesterday.
Yes.
In the IG Navi series, and I think Ferrari maybe that was playing, the Weaver had a tougher time there. But if these two do end up in a match lane, I do expect Weaver to have the slight edge there. And look at this Wisp being picked up by Zenith.
Now this is really powerful because, of course, it's Zenith Wisp. We can maybe see the defensive Wisp, but if you're using it offensive, you can jump 3 heroes, because you have the Lifestealer, so you have the let's say infest the Beastmaster or the Wisp itself, and then you just tether the Wisp to someone, and TP, and suddenly bam, surprise 3-man gank party. So that's something to be a little bit scared of if you're Orange. These heroes, of course, the OD can Astral Imprison himself, which is some kind of defense, but the supports will be super exposed. Carapace will stun you, but will only last so far. And the Weaver, well, if you have enough lockdown, say the Beastmaster, just the dust is enough to destroy him before he can get out of the stun and go into time lapse.
But do you think Beastmaster alone is enough lockdown for against this team? I don't think it is. I feel like you need something else in a support that gives you some sort of long range. Maybe a Jakiro, maybe a
Jakiro's
Bane.
banned, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, you got
Bane
taken
would
out.
be nice.
Yeah,
here.
it's definitely a nice way to kind of deal with a ton of these carries. Although Fiend's Grip against Rubik is,
It's easy to steal.
yeah, it's easy to steal. The Beastmaster Roar isn't too hard to steal. As the spell steal is really long range, and of course the Beastmaster does have a fairly long casting animation. Is there anything that our analysts want to bring up here? It's a fairly interesting draft. Zenith not really going crazy mode just yet with their picks.
Yeah, I think just to echo what you said, I feel like Orange have a lot of ways to deal with Beastmaster Roar. They can steal it with the Rubik. Weaver, it's only one stun, might be able to time-lapse out of it. OD, Astral Imprisonment. I think that's the most important point for Zenith. They have to find more lockdown
And they
with
have
this
the
last pick.
defensive Astral Imprisonment. Now that Shadow Demon's banned out of the pool, they do have that. And again, they're liking a lot on the lockdown, especially if Weaver gets a Lincoln Sphere. There's almost nothing they can do.
Ugh.
Sure, they have the Wisp, but will they really have enough control to lock down Orange's heroes? I'm actually quite surprised that they took OD this early.
But now it seems like it's working out. I mean, maybe Zenith has to just get greedy and try and get a Chaos Knight or something.
Right.
And run a Jungle Beastmaster. I don't know.
Well,
Awkward.
yeah,
Awkward.
I'm definitely agreeing with their analysts here. As the stuns are light on Zenith, although they have one more pick, and there's definitely a lot of heroes in the pool. Call it a Shadow Shaman, call it Line perhaps. You have a ton of supports that give you two very nice stuns to work with, and we'll see which one Zenith go with. But we're in Orange Esports camp, and they're going to finish the draft with a Lone Druid. So we're looking at a lot of kind of annoying, hard-to-kill heroes.
Also very greedy as well for Orange. We have a Tricore here, all Devourer, Weaver, Lone Druid, 3 heroes that can have the potential to go to the late game. But at the same time, you kind of need farm. You probably will find farming at least one of those, because if you're Zenith, you can't stop 3 guys from farming. But at the same time, that gives them the possibility that if something goes wrong, Zenith can take advantage of the fact that they're playing very, very greedy. Because Zenith, right now, Darkseer, not a main farmer, Beastmaster, not a main farmer. They only have the Lifestealer, and they're going to get another support. So
I feel like you go early game with this. I mean, Darkseer definitely could do okay against some of these heroes. You go like a 13-minute mech, 12-minute mech, Beastmaster, get those Auric early, Lifestealer focus on a fairly early build like a Phase Drums. And yeah, they are going quite early. They just won knockdown towers and just say, hey guys, I know you have the 3 core, I know you have better late game, so let's beat you early. And to me, Nyx Assassin and Rubik has to work overtime early on and try to protect everybody. And that's going to be hard, to be completely honest here.
it's all about going on the supports. Io and Keeper of the Light, so strong in the early game, especially well after level 6, but the problem is that they're very, very squishy. And if you can stop them, that will mean that the Lifestealer will not have a safe lane to farm. Beastmaster should lose against Owl Devourer, and Darkseer will get something no matter what, so there's no point trying to stop that hero. So if Orange can stop the supports, they can disrupt them, maybe kill them, or at least just take them out of the lane for a little while. That will make all the lanes go into their favor, and they shouldn't have any problem past the 30 minutes mark, unless of course Zenith manages to pull this. Let's push early, let's do some early damage.
So I think one of the facts that we talked about is assuming Mushi will just completely and utterly dominate the mid lane. Now, I'm not sure whether Zenith is a team that have done this in the past, but one thing that you can do on the Wisp, on the Radiant side, is actually destroy these trees over here with the tether and pull. And I don't think Beastmaster, like you said, straight up beats OD 1v1, but with the creeps constantly being denied, when you have a 4 base armor, when you have 58 base damage on Beastmaster, and a very clean attack animation, of course, more importantly, when half of your creep wave is being denied by the Wisp pulls, I actually think that he wins the lane against Mushi. So it really comes down to whether that's a tactic that Zenith wants to go for. Again, memory does not serve me to say who did it in the past, but I've definitely seen this before.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that used to be way more common back when the small pool had a longer leash range.
Right.
And you could use it without actually having to destroy trees. But we see it nowadays every now and then. It's a great strategy. It will give more levels to the Beastmaster compared to the OD. Owl Devourer should still be able to get some farm and some being generally annoying like he is. But I think it's their best choice. Alternatively, if you want to put something else on the mid lane, then your lanes become weird. I've seen people try and go Lifestealer against Owl Devourer.
How does that work?
Not too much. I mean,
What's the logic behind that one? I don't see it.
There's no logic really. It's just like Lifestealer focuses on trying to get the farm. instead of just ignoring the OD.
Okay.
And because he has passive lifesteal with his fist, the OD harass is not that impactful. You will not win that lane, but it's like you try not to lose as much.
That sounds atrocious.
It is pretty bad.
Okay.
But some teams have explored it in the past.
Okay.
So
Well,
I wouldn't do it.
Can't blame people for trying, you know.
Yeah.
But actually, let's jump in the game and explain, or actually announce who's going to be playing what. Mushi's going to be playing on the OD, most likely on the solo mid. KYXY is going to be playing on Lone Druid. I imagine it's going to be a safe lane, although it's hard to tell here. Ohio is going to be on the Weaver, who also could go on the off lane. Extinct is going to be playing on Rubik, and Net is going to be playing on Nyx Assassin. Of course, Extinct and Net, to me, are the kind of X factor for the team and the game.
Yes.
They are regarded as the best supporting duo of the entire tournament, and they definitely have the numbers to back it up. But let's see if they could do it this game against Zenith.
Right. And for the side of Zenith, we have Yamate playing the Beastmaster. Ice will be playing the Lifestealer. XY on the Darkseer. Then we have Ice on Keeper of the Light. And the guy that's missing is actually Freedom.
Yep.
Yeah, X-Freedom. Which will play the Wisp.
Yep. So again, I'm not sure whether it's a dual pulling mid Wisp. In which case, if you have Ice, you kind of 1v1 against maybe a Weaver or even a Lone Druid on the bot lane, he should come out fairly even. Like, he's not going to completely dominate. He's not going to get kills in that lane, but he should do okay.
Yes.
And to me, it depends on what Ice is going to be doing.
The problem is, I don't think you have to do okay. If you remember, your only carry is the Lifestealer. If the Lifestealer is not getting anything, then you're pretty much lost, because you have 3 guys that will be finding some amount of farm.
Sure.
So the Lifestealer has to win that lane badly. He has to have this 12-minute armlet and just be a threat in the first 20 minutes of the game. If he's struggling to get some farm and it's 20 minutes and he just has face and drums, it's going to be very tough for Zenith.
I would agree if this is more of a normal game where you expect your Lifestealer to do your 1-row damage. And he's definitely the 1-row hero here. But particularly, I feel like what Zenith has in terms of their hero lineup, they want to just take down towers.
Yes.
So having face drums to me is actually pretty good here, because all the aura item, all the movement speed items will help you zone people away from the towers as your rest of the team hammer it down. You will have the Beastmaster aura. You will have hopefully a quick mech, quick pipe hopefully from your Darkseer. And sure, you may not have the best damage. You don't have an early armlet, but
Well, more is better, right?
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think he needs to dominate the lane like you're suggesting. I think as long as he go even, as long as you get the early game, because you know if Weaver,
But if he
Bear.
gets towers, he will get the money.
yes, he just wants to snowball.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to win the lane, absolutely trashing them, like out CSing them 2-1. That's what I'm suggesting. I just say he just need to do fine.
Okay.
So not too much high expectation, at least for me, for Ice, in particularly this laning stage.
And providing that he will probably be dual laning,
He should do okay. I mean,
he
like,
should do okay.
Lifestealer is such a good last hitter. You have the backup. You're on the safe lane. Seems like we just had a connect and disconnect again here from X-Freedom.
Yeah, X-Freedom is trying to find his way into the game. Unfortunately, it's not working too much for him. So, hi.
We're gonna be jumping back on the camera because
Okay.
there is more chess here
Fair enough.
than a pause screen.
So based on the draft, exclusively on the draft, do you think anyone has the upper hand?
I think Zenith's lineup is a lot more riskier because it predicates on actually destroying towers early, which may or may not happen.
Right.
At the same time, Orange doesn't actually have good tower defense.
No, they don't.
They have Fable.
That's the only.
They have Impale.
And Shukuchi.
That's Sakuchi, right? If you're
Yes.
defending your towers with Sakuchi, it's not good. So, as much as I guess you could call the Orange lineup a little bit safer because it's running 3 core, you could give away tier 1, tier 2 towers. As long as you defend your base, which is a lot more difficult to push in against, you should be fine. Same time, you have no base defense. You have no hero that could really base defend. You're against some of the game's best early game pusher, early mech, early aura, early drum phase on your Lifestealer. So it definitely comes down to play, which is kind of what you want to see, right? You don't want to see one team getting completely outdrafted and making uninteresting games.
You know what I'm a little concerned about? It's the fact that it's actually Zenith that has the greater counter push, and they have a really good counter push with Illuminate and Axis.
But
also the wall. So the thing is, Orange, in theory, have the best better late game, right? So if the game prolongs to a point, you'll know that Orange will inevitably win unless they screw up very, very badly.
But it's gonna take a while.
But it's going to take quite a while.
Yeah. Particularly because Weaver don't get any type of early. Like he has some decent early game builds. We see things like, like a Medallion to a Desolator. That's a decent early game build. For Bear, it's like quick Maelstrom into just whether it's a Radiance or a AC.
Tiras,
those are also good, but those builds don't come out 15 minutes in.
Exactly.
When Zenith wants to push, it's a 15-minute push. So it's definitely a big exploitation of the lateness that is Orange, I guess, if you want to call it that. But
we're going to see how the Wisp fits in all this, because that's the other thing. If you look at the rest of the Zenith lineup,
what does he do here?
Yeah, exactly. We have Keeper of the Light, we have Beastmaster, very good at clearing up creep waves. We have the Life Stealer, which is, as you say, I think his role here is more of a zoning kind of hero. He will run in, damage, but just run in and intimidate people so that you do not get close to the tower and pushing. And then, of course, Darkseer, which excels at
wall, team fight, that kind of stuff.
And then you have the Wisp.
I guess you could link up the Life Stealer and help him hit faster on the towers.
I guess.
Yeah.
Because this is clearly not a team designed for pickoffs. It's not like you're going to gank like the way you would normally do with this Chaos Knight. Of course, you might find yourself jumping into the Rubik, or maybe even into the Lone Druid if you're lucky before he hits level 6.
Sure.
But I mean, realistically, it's not the best lineup for that.
One thing I do want to point out that when you have Wisp and Keeper of Light, we saw the amazing play that these two comboed out the other day. That's cool and all. I do believe if Zenith want to get ultra aggressive, I mean like really, really like almost suicidally aggressive,
which is something that they do normally.
They do like to do that. You can use your buyback quite aggressively early, and it's very cheap. Like 10 minutes in, it's like 500-600 gold.
About that.
That's when Relocate gets really good. That's when Recall gets really good. It's like you're buying back. And even if you lose some of your tier 1 towers, or if you're deeper into the enemy side of the map, your Wisp and your Recall from your Keeper of Light is working overtime to bring your Lifestealer or Beastmaster right back. So I'm not sure whether to have take that in mind, but that's definitely one of the things that you can do with a Wisp.
We'll see if they can do that. For the side of Orange, let's see. So we'll have the two supports probably assisting the Weaver. Like, do you think it's going to be a trialing with the Weaver, or do you think it's going to be a trialing with Lone Druid? I think the Weaver makes more sense in this scenario.
I don't think it matters too much either case. Like, no matter which supporting duel goes into which lane, I think Lifestealer should have the safe lane farm, because you're up against Nyx Assassin and Rubik. They can't really kill you. And if they're up against the Darkseer, Darkseer just say, hey, I abandon it, go in the jungle.
Right.
So either way, Lifestealer and Darkseer is getting a farm.
And this actually was leading into the next question, which is, with these lanes, 3 capable solos in the Weaver, Lone Druid, and Owl Devourer, do you just roam the Nyx and Rubik? Do you just put them into the jungle and try to force as many pulls as possible to get quick levels? Or do you just try to secure one of the lane and give whichever lane they're doing safe lane, like free farm?
Yeah, it's hard to actually roam. I mean, these are good roamers, to be fair, but at the same time, you're roaming against a Beastmaster who possibly has a Wisp backup, who has, high HP, high base armor. We're back in the game here, and looks like X-Freedom is ready to go. And of course, you can't really gank the Lifestealer. Darkseer is hard to gank, so yeah, you can roam, but I'm not sure how effective it will actually be. So, and it seems like with the Wisp's position, he is going to be taking a position to the mid lane, start breaking some tree. XY is actually getting to the mid lane, and he can't possibly be going mid, right? It's got to be Yamate. And Yamate, yes, he is saving for the quick bottle, and he's actually got pulled the salve as well from Ice.
That's going to be nice, the salve pull, because clearly it will give him just maybe 2-3 creeps, and he will be able to get his bottle, which means that he will be able to take it after the first wave. Something that you will probably need against the Owl Devourer very, very fast. Otherwise, you will be very, very annoyed. We see the Trident of Orange going offensive. I'm waiting to see if someone tries to put some wards, something, but the Zenith is more concerned about clearing the pool for the mid lane than actually trying to secure that defensive tri-lane.
Yeah, I do want to say that maybe if you guys are coming in here and watching this game, wondering why Bruno is not as exciting as he usually is, we had let's just say a little bit of a tough day.
Yes.
Bruno was actively shopping for suits.
I did shop for a lot of suits
and
today.
And if you want to see those suits, come
Go-
to Seattle at
Yeah.
TI3. I'm going to say they are very colorful suits. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is we got chicken McNuggets.
Yeah,
McDonald's.
that's really
That's
depressing.
really why we're feeling like absolutely like having the life drained out of us. But hopefully these should be some very exciting games and will bring us back to life. And we do see a little bit of offensive warding here, and Ice should be absolutely fine. He hasn't skilled his first point yet. We'll have access into Rage though. Orange supports are going to be blocking these pool camps fairly effectively.
I like the positioning of that ward. It's a bit unconventional. It's not the most common one.
Do
but
you know
still
if that
works.
blocks camp? I'm not sure if
Yeah,
it
it does. Well, I don't know.
I don't think
maybe
it
it was
does.
net.
Yeah, net is blocking it, and Ice is having a little bit of hotkey issues. Hopefully we won't see too many pauses here. And of course, if you look at Wisdom's positioning, he is going to be making these pulls. It is very easy to make this pull. So you actually just draw the aggro from the level 1 creeps, and then if you even need to, you could tether to the creep wave. So you have a lot of room for error to get this pull off. And basically what you want to do is to deny as many creeps as possible, and then just be a big annoyance factor to Mushi. I swear I've seen this matchup before, and Mushi actually lost that matchup on his OD. So it should be quite interesting.
Do you think if you're playing against Wisp something and you pretty much guess that Wisp is going to do the pull, because we were talking about this since before, I mean since the drafting phase, Wisp
Right.
is probably going to
And I'm sure Orange knows Yamate and the rest of the squad
Exactly.
a lot better than I do, so they should know about
Do
this.
you think it's worth it to just try and invest some wars into blocking the easy camp?
Well, I think if you look at Ice, right, they have sentry wards available, so I'm not too sure whether blocking is a good long-term investment. I think perhaps, especially when you have Lone Druid or heroes like Nature's Prophet,
Yes.
you send some summons there. You could send the level 1 bear there and sit there for a bit, because in a 1v1 matchup on the top lane, you don't really need that bear as desperately. I think that's definitely something that you could do to slow it down, and that will give your Mushi OD on the mid lane, for example, level 3, and he gets a lot stronger at that point. So I don't think you need a ward there, you just want to harass it a little bit early.
Right. So, well, the duel has started mid. There's one intelligence still on Yamate, but it's only 4 intelligence. So will he be able to just do a little bit more? Well, he's out of mana already, but he uses the axe once.
Meanwhile, on the right side here, Orange is tangling through of this camp, and Ice is already out of there. This is one of the more annoying things to me about Keeper of Light. He has a ton of annoying things, but to me, he has 315 base movement speed. He's one of the quicker supports, and he just easily waltz away from 2 supports that are definitely trying to kill him. But sorry, you were talking about something else.
No, I was talking about the mid lane, just checking how things were. I think these first couple levels are very important to see what the Beastmaster is going to do. Of course, he decides to go for the aura, knowing that the Call of the Wild is not going to be particularly useful in this lane. But Mushi tanking a lot of damage because he knows that he needs the farm, and it's hard to get it against the tower.
Yeah, Mushi most likely won't go bottle. Sometimes you do see OD go bottle, but in this particular matchup, he should be absolutely fine with the Tranquil Boots. Popping the first of itself, still got 1 to go. Me on the bot lane here, looks like Lifesteal is going to be playing a little bit aggressively. Open wounds into Illuminate, hitting the 2 supports, but looks like they want to make a return kill. Ice does not have Rage, and he's going to be in big trouble. Impel will hit, and Ice, as per usual, I want to say, plays over aggressive without having access into Rage, and well, gives away first blood. This is the lane that you said he needs to farm very well, and this is a lane that I expect him to farm very well because he's a lifestealer in a safe lane, and unfortunately he hasn't delivered that.
I actually don't know what he was going for there, really. He went excessively offensive, and as you said, without Rage you can't do that.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought he had it. I really don't know.
Definitely over expect what Illuminate can do. It looks like with the haste from Mushi, he's coming right in. Of course, Ice already in position to kind of zone him back out. In fact, these guys are double pulling into the camp on the left, and it's big, it's heavily stacked. Illuminate's gonna come through, but X Freedom's really low, and Impaled's gonna seal the kill. I mean, Ned is definitely being at the right place at the right time to get the kills, and you are asking, do you block this ward? Ice or Net definitely thinks he should, and you do actually ward this off right there. So very beautiful play, beautiful support play from Orange Esport, and that's why they get a 10 on the hexagon, right? They are arguably the best dual support in the entire tournament.
Well, that was an absolute freebie. Net has to be happy. It was like, okay, I'm going to just drop my sentry, and suddenly he finds a 20 HP IO. Free kill for them. Now the bottom lane is not going in Zenith's favor. The mid lane will be much harder. We'll see if they can deward this. They will decide to just farm this double stack of the big camp first. So we'll see what happens there. Let's talk a little bit about the top lane. I actually like the Darkseer actually contesting and going with the Ion Shell in the lane instead of creep skipping. I think creep skipping is something that you shouldn't do against Lone Druid. Because yes, you will get all the farm. The Lone Druid can be a little bit annoying, especially before level 5, he will not be able to kill you. And Weaver got a kill on Lifestealer again.
Don't worry, I got that. I got my camera there. Not
Right.
missing any kills just yet, but it was Lifestealer dropping it a little bit too low. A lift into a couple of nukes and they went down. But you were saying that Darkseer shouldn't be creep skipping.
Yeah, because if you're creep skipping, then Lone Druid is still under the tower, but with the Bear, he can still let hit. So you're pretty much trading free farm for free farm, which is something you don't want to do as a Darkseer against a Lone Druid.
Okay. I'll make sure nothing is happening on the map. I'm not gonna say I personally disagree with you, but I want to rephrase something that I've heard from other pro Darkseers and pro Lone Druid player. It's a matchup that's definitely a toss-up. If you actually just trade farm back and forth and try to harass him like that, like what XY is trying to do,
Yes.
I think Lone Druid still outfarms you because he has higher base damage. He could tank with this bear. What Boba has tried to do in the past, for example, is he likes to creep skip, but not only creep skip, he likes to pull the creep wave into like a neutral camp and farm both camps, the lane and the camp at the same time. So you're not exactly trading farm per se, you're accelerating farm, and you get your 10-minute mech like that. So it's definitely something I want to go back and look at and maybe even do the math on, but it's definitely a different playstyle. And XY is choosing the same lane, and I'm not even sure whether he's winning that hard. He is farming the camp a little bit to the left, though.
Yep. We'll see what happens with that. Now the bear is level 5, so Entangle is available, and that's when it gets a little bit scary. If you get entangled in a bad position, maybe under the enemy's tower, because it's something that you normally do as a Darkseer, or even in the jungle with a couple stacks on you, maybe the damage will be excessive, and you can die surprisingly fast. So now Net is rotating mid. He wants to go for the Beastmaster, and Beastmaster is way out of position right now.
He doesn't have point into Mono Burn, but I'm not too sure whether that's even necessary, because Mushi is hitting at 105 base damage. They are going to get the kill. No, Magic Stick up here. Can he drop a salve or something? He has no more regen whatsoever, but with the boots of speed and his high base movement speed, oh no, he's actually not juking actually to the left. Another Impale, that's going to miss, and they're not going to get the kill. Meanwhile, the Weaver with some Tyro Dive kills Ice a third time. How in the actual world? He's actually leveling up open wounds, which is maybe why he's dying. Maybe he should level up more rage. And to me, Bruno, I got a question for you. When you're playing the early game team pick, because Orange, in fact, is playing 3 core.
Right.
Net has a double damage, or maybe he's going to pick off somebody on the run by, but they're playing against 3 core. Zenith Shindari to be winning every single lane. They definitely have the better laning heroes, and they're 0-4 against Orange right now. Are you absolutely scared for Zenith?
Well, you definitely have to make something happen right now, because if you get to the 10-minute mark and you're still like this, your hopes for the rest of the game become smaller and smaller right now. The only guy on Zenith that's having a moderately good time is Darkseer. And even then, like, Net is trying to find now, and Net is going to find Ice. Will he be able to do something? He's level 3, he has 2 points on Impale, but no, it's not enough. The Lone Druid is way too far away, he's farming, so he will not be able to get anything. As I said before, the only guy getting something is the Darkseer, and even if he gets a 10-minute mech, 12-minute mech, it will not be enough if the rest of the team is so underfarmed.
Yeah, and they're definitely underfarming. If you look at the level consistency on the Zenith side, you have a level 4 Wisp, which is pretty healthy at this stage of the game, but you have a level 2 Keeper. Meanwhile, the supporting duo here, Extinct already level 5, getting a ton of kills on, or kill EXP on the bot lane. And of course, Nyx Assassin, even though he hasn't been killing people as much, he's definitely helping out in the lanes, right? Got the freebie on Wisp and was helping out in the mid lane to kill, or at least zone Beastmaster out of lane. And now on top, backing up KYXY a little bit. So I feel like the supporting duos of Orange Esport, as expected, playing a lot better. And Zenith, despite having better early game hero, is not really transitioning it into kind of lane dominance. And let's actually just go back to Ice. He's getting a boots at 8 minute as a safe farm Lifestealer. That's just not going to cut it.
No, that's just not going to cut it. And also it has to do as well with the fact that the Zenith supports are not trying to... Oops, here they come.
Yeah, they're going to try to make a go here. Extinct trying to TP out there. Illuminate's going to hit through, and they are going to get 1 kill. But the question is X-Freedom going to die? And I think the answer is yes, the Swarm's going to come in. In fact, he might actually go on Ice, or Ice instead. Swarm, or Time-Lapse Act works here, and he's not going to chase. He might even have chased him down with that Max Sakuchi, but he's actually going to focus on Ice instead. And he's going to go down here. Stick Gemini attack? What? I'm very surprised he didn't make that dive. To be fair, he did not have time lapse on cooldown, but at the same time,
what is Ice doing?
I mean, maybe well
now he can do the dive.
maybe he was actually worried about Infest. He's really deep in enemy territory. He does have Swarm backup. If you get the Swarm off here against Ice, that's a free kill. Or you could go on Ice instead. Whichever Ice he wants here, it's a freebie here. And Ice trying to fight this one. And Ohio should be able to make it out alive. He does have wand charges. He will get the kill. He's now moving on to Ice. And the Gemini attack is just simply way too much. Ohio on this solo off lane. He's just double killing, triple killing. And he's, what, 53-3? What is his net worth? He's 1,300 higher than his next highest on the map, which is he going mech? No, he's going medallion.
No, it's I'm just surprised here. I mean, you knew that if that Weaver made a dive, he could kill both of them, and Ice still went for it. I think Ice is playing way too aggressive. I mean, I know it's his style, but at this point, I'm actually surprised because his decision making has been quite poor, to be honest. He's 0-4-1, just 18 creeps in about 10 minutes. That means like about 2 creeps per minute, and he lost this lane bad. I don't think there's a chance this Lifestealer can get back into the game unless the Weaver decides to gank other lanes and leave him for
he can
10
gank.
minutes.
He's got medallion, right? So he definitely can gank. But also to kind of capitalize on what you're saying, Ice is actually leveling up open wounds, which is, you know, you could make an argument to say, hey, you know, open wounds deserve to be leveled up, but you're leveling up against a Weaver who does not give a two hoots about open wounds. So Yamate's going to run into a couple guys, but I'm not too sure whether he even get the kill. The Beastmaster Roar, will it hit? That's a question. They do not have the necessary detection, and everybody backs off. So that was a 3-man smoke gank that did not do a single thing. And Mushi, for his sake, he should not get ganked off in mid lane. Speaking of Mushi, he's going to be going for the mech on the team. Axis is going to fly through. I'm very surprised they didn't actually roar him and go for the kill there. But with the buckler, maybe they couldn't even get the kill.
No, it's hard right now. I mean, he's got the buckler. He doesn't have the tranquil boots, which is something that we normally see. He's taking lots of damage from the darks here, Iron Shell, but he's going to be okay. Normally we see a tranquil boot on our World Devourers. He decided to go for the bottle instead, which is okay. But once he gets that mech, now it's actually Orange who can go for the early push. They still have the Lone Druid, they still have the Weaver that has tons of farm. If they just start grouping at 5, I don't think Zenith has any way to defend.
Well, Zenith does have really good defense hero. You talked about the Wild Access earlier, you talked about the Illuminate.
Yeah, but it's a level 4 Keeper of the Light.
Yeah.
And there's a Beastmaster, which, I like this idea.
I really like it as well. Yeah, I really like it. Boots, bottle, and gem. This is harking back to, I want to say 2010 Chinese Dota, where if you just feel like you just absolutely need the map dominance, go for it. And you got to keep in mind, because of the recent, well, not so recent anymore, but with the wards count being only 1 pair at the start of the game, if you get some D-Ward right now, that is perhaps your way back into the game. Yamate is going to find himself a Lifestealer infested inside him. The gem is going to be very, very helpful in terms of ganking Ohio as well. This gank's gotta work, and I'm not even sure whether it will. They're coming in right now, Beastmaster Roar. Where's the Beastmaster Roar? They're not going to make it go. TP's going to come in.
They think they can't do it with just 2 of them.
Well, maybe not with max open wounds.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, but right now, Lifestealer is not doing a single damn thing.
No, it's just chilling, getting some experience, saying hi to his friend the Beastmaster, maybe drinking something there. But the Weaver is happy about that. It's like, okay, I have no problem with that. Now they saw the gem, probably.
Yeah, they did.
So it's going to be interesting to see whether they can actually do something. And Freedom is trying desperately to get level 6. He's mid there, and he's okay being mid. Look at Mushi. Mushi rotating bottom. He's going to find Ice. Ice is hidden in the trees. No, he didn't see him. Wow.
Good jukes here by Ice. And also, if he made a dive, Beastmaster will have the TP. Speaking of Beastmaster, did you come out to gank on the bot lane? And with XY rotating in, they are going to get the kill. So they're going to try to push off of this, and this is kind of what you want. Of course, Illuminate should be able to hold and slow down this push at least by a tiny bit. They do have Glyph available, but Mushi says no to that. Move this hero forward and zones Keeper of the Light completely off the lane. Zenith, I said they should need to be pushing, but I expected them to get all the tier 1s by now. They haven't. This is the first tier 1 they're working on, and they're even losing the tier 1 before Orange. You're saying that Orange could push better, and they are definitely showing that they did. And here comes the TP. They are not even going to get a tier 1 tower. Wow.
Nope. They have to run away. They don't have enough damage. They don't have enough speed to take that tower down. I mean, yeah, it's only level 2 on that inner vis, but if the Lifestealer has something other than boots, maybe they could try that. Another Lifestealer is holding sentry wards of his own.
Yeah, I'm not sure why whether he bought it himself or the support passed it to him. They do have a gem already available, so those sentries are maybe not absolutely necessary. But this is the comeback time for Zenith. They have to make something happen. They have a level 4, level 5 keeper now. That's not going to be enough. They do have a level 6 Wisp. You do have one of the most dominant ganking duo with the Wisp, Beastmaster Roar. You have the Hawk eventually with your Call of the Wild to start getting more map control. And you have the Lifestealer Infest Bomb. Even though he doesn't have too many items, he does still give you that tiny bit of magical damage, and more importantly, the surprise, the slow. All of them is very nice. But they need to make it happen. They need to find the supports and go for kills.
We'll see if they can do that. At the moment, who do you gank? I think you can gank the Rubik.
I think you could definitely gank the Weaver. You have the Beastmaster Roar, and you have the gem available. So
You still have to burst 900 damage before he can pop the...
yeah, that's definitely tough, and especially when he has the medallion armor. Like that's no joke. He's sitting at 13 armor. That's a lot of damage that Lifestealer cannot do right now. So it's tough. But they are definitely pinging him out. They are going to make a pincer attack from all sides. Let's see if they can make a kill.
Well, he just used the Shukuchi, so for the next 2 seconds he will not be able to go.
They gotta go quick
Yeah,
because the rotation is
Ice
coming in.
supposed to go on him. Now here comes that.
Oh,
Will
I'm
they
not
be able
sure
to
why
roar?
Ice opened it up, but the Roar just barely catches them. You can see Ice running forward here, but Timelapse Vacuum, they do not get a Timelapse off. No, they do, and now here's the Swarm comes off. They do it, disrupt one, and Ohio's on the chase. Ice is going to try to fight, and he's not going to get the fight off. XY's on the run. XY gets his spell stolen, and he's not going to make it out there. The rotation from Orange is just a lot better. And my question for Ice there is, why did he actually open with Open Wounds? Because it's a spell that does nothing to the Weaver, because Weaver will just Sakuchi out.
Right.
And when you do drop the Open Wounds, you're telling Ohio, hey man, I'm trying to kill you. You better Sakuchi away. I think the only way they actually make that kill is to Beastmaster Roar first. And also because Ohio ran away, he ran a lot closer to his tower. And that's made the TP a lot more effective for Orange. I think Ice played it a little bit poorly there. And as a result, they lose 3 heroes, or was it 2 heroes? And they lose a tier 1 tower. And look at Net, he's dropping some of the most offensive wards that you could see a ward being dropped in 15 minutes in.
Yes, I mean, I try to look at the bright side, but I don't see how Zenith can come back from this right now. 0-5-2 on Ice. He's playing recklessly. He's not even playing aggressive. This is just reckless. Bad decision making all around, unfortunately for him. I think maybe the stress got to him, and now they're just dominating. We talked about how they can stop the pushes, but there's not much mana on the Beastmaster. The Keeper of the Light just can't get near the tower because anyone can dive him and kill him.
Like Ohio right now could dive against these 2 heroes particularly and even kill both of them.
Yes.
Mana League being a little bit of an annoyance factor to him, but it's only a level 1 Mana League, so it doesn't do much. And Orange is setting up shop in all of the lanes. You were saying, you know, they could be pushing early. I doubted it. I was like, you know, they didn't even need a push. But they're saying, hey, man, we're winning so hard. Let's just make short work of this game. You see the rotation coming in from Net. He is detected by a particular well-placed Observer Ward, but that doesn't matter because the Bear will maul down the tier 1 tower. If they want to just go into the Roshan pit right now, it's theirs.
Yes.
I'm going to agree with you here. I don't see how Zenith could win a fight. Maybe you could go for some pickoffs here. Like, you still have to relocate. But have they even used the relocate? They had the Wisp to hit 6 in a very good time, but...
That's it.
Where's that relocate?
Yeah. I mean, literally, you can't kill anyone. You maybe can't even kill the Rubik at this point. Because things are going so much in Orange's way.
Yep.
They will just grab these Aegis now. I hope, and I hope they don't decide to farm.
Ohio's going to come in here. He does have his double damage. Does not decide to chase down, which is actually a good choice. Maybe he's going to go for
the Lifestealer. Yeah, Lifestealer is a big prize right now.
Well, Lifestealer does have Infest into a creep, which is what he probably needs to do. Swarm's going to come through, and you're going to use relocate defensively. I guess that's the thing. But, okay.
Yeah. If that next attack would have connected, the Lifestealer would have been dead.
Yeah.
The relocate is now going to take everyone back because the zone is secured. But the Weaver doesn't care.
Yeah. Weaver says, I'm not looking really to kill anybody. I'm just looking to pressure, looking to harass. This just... Zenith is a lot better than this. And I guess a lot of the early game decision they have made really punished them. And now it's just Orange kind of taking over. Of course, vacuum backwards here. Trying their best to defend, but I mean, they don't even have Blinding Light on their Keeper of Light. They're not going to even have a successful defense. Tier 2 is going to go down quite easily.
Yes, and with that tier 2, there's a roll right now on the Rubik.
They're going to actually link through right now to the Hawk, but the defensive disruption, here comes the Wisp, as well as the Net. Oh my god, huge ultimate coming in from Mushi, and everybody's on the run. It is a roar coming out from Extinct and Ice. I don't think he's going to make it out of there. And it would not surprise me right now if Zenith decides to tap out, because this game is as good as it's over. Force that 4 on Mushi, offensive disrupt, and, well, Ice is also dead.
12,000 gold difference 18 minutes into the game. Lots of experience as well. This doesn't really matter
Yeah,
right now.
this is the racks right now.
This is rocks. I mean, the good thing about Zenith is that they will respawn really fast, but no, there's the GGGGGG by Ice, and I'm sure he will want to forget about this game. Yo, LD.
LDZ practicing his wrestling moves.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I don't know what to say. I'm really disappointed. That's what I'm going to go for. I'm disappointed in Zenith. They failed to execute. I think it was all about that bottom lane. They should have. I know that we talked about this before. You disagreed with me, but the top lane actually went well for them.
Yeah,
they got the farm. The mid lane was designed kind of to lose by design.
Well,
I
the
mean,
Wisp was supposed to help out.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it was going to be either wash or not a huge win. They would not be able to kill the Owl Devourer.
Right.
And probably the Owl Devourer would have found some kind of farm anyways. That bottom lane, you can't go 0-3 in 5 minutes.
Well,
you can't max
you can't
open
do
world.
that. I absolutely agree. I'm just really questioned by the first dive. Remember, it was a level 2 dive on your Lifestealer. Illuminate hit on the 2 support, and generally that was like, oh my god, Illuminate hit on supports, let's go.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh wait, I'm playing 6.78 C Lifestealer. I don't have rage. So they just turn around and kill him. And it's not just killing the Lifestealer. When you kill the Lifestealer in lane, guess what Net and Xing is free to do? They're free to go wherever the hell they want to. And they went to the jungle where the Wisp is at. They put a Sentry Ward to block the camp. And like, oh, by the way, there's an 8 HP Wisp. Let me just impale and get the kill there.
Right.
And for me, that was the game.
Yeah.
Because you're playing Zenith, you're playing a very ultra aggressive early game lineup, and they went 0-4 in the laning stage. So I don't know. I don't think Zenith's draft is the issue. I don't think anybody's saying, you know, they got outdrafted. I just simply think that they made some small but very key errors early, and then Orange was very smart to take advantage with all of it. Orange played well.
Yeah, they did play well. But now they'll have to keep playing well. If they win this game too, they advance to the next stage. Zenith will be out. Will Zenith bring back the Timbers?
I say 2-1, so
okay.
that's their one loss.
Okay.
Zenith 2-0, let's go.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Let's see what LD and Merlini have to say about this.
I actually thought the draft was a problem. Not enough stuns, not enough late game to just sit back and play defensively. And giving away Weaver against Lifestealer is almost always going to be really hard. So I personally wasn't sold on the draft.
I didn't think it was that good either. Just, yeah, Weaver, the Wisp tri-lanes are generally not that good, but with a nerfed Nyx, they don't really have any good initiation. You pretty much just have to, like, walk into the Illuminate or, like, try and catch up to someone with Tether Stun. Yeah. And that's just, it's just really, really strange.
It was kind of awkward, right? Like, the Lifestealer sort of creeps forward, and then he open wounds you, and by that point...
they have telekinesis, they have constant harassment from Rubik and the Weaver, who is extremely difficult to kill, and then you can follow that up with a Nyx Stun. Orange's lineup was just better in the laning phase, and they played it a lot better. Ohio was absolutely...
And this is why we usually see teams, if you take a Weaver, if you take a Lifestealer, you ban the Weaver. But we didn't see that this game.
What else about the draft? I mean, they tried to jungle a little bit, but the good in rotation from Net too, that was part of them losing the lane, but also he went mid and killed the Beastmaster too. They tried to pick up an early gem, but it just...
He survived. He ran away with like
oh yeah, that's right.
15 HP.
Yeah, they almost killed the Beastmaster.
But he was zoned out for like a full minute, so might as well you kill him.
What are you supposed to do with that lane? I mean, you just lose.
I thought the Wisp pulling was going to be a little bit more effective,
but I mean...
one Sentry Ward, game is over.
As I said, I mean, you can't... Especially when you're doing so bad, you have no money and your supports can't afford to buy Sentry Wards, but it's about the Wisp, it's about helping you not lose so bad. It's not about... You're not going to win a lane.
Right.
Because the Wisp is pulling you. You will get to level 6 faster, but even if Beastmaster gets to level 6, he will not be able to kill the Owl Devourer, because by the time he hits 6 and he has Roar, he has no mana.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, is it a race? Like, what do? You get 6 fast and try to go gank other lanes? You still have no mana. You max Aura and Pig.
Look, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna agree with Zenith
Inner
here.
stats.
Yes.
Let's go.
But yeah, it was a little bit sketchy. So hopefully.
So what do you think they need to do to win the next game? Because they're down 1-0. They need, if they lose one more, they're out of the tournament. They need to get their draft.
They
together.
gotta pick lanes that they can win. They have strong solo laners. Like I think XY is actually one of the few solos that can take on Mushi 1v1. But if they pick lanes that are set up to fail in the laning stage, Zenith is not as good at just being a turtle team, like a DK
No.
and LGD China. I don't think they're horrible as a comeback team, but I don't think it's their forte.
No.
I want to see them just get out to a fast lead and go from there. And to do that,
Right.
don't give Mushi OD mid unless you have some sort of crazy pocket strat to deal with him. Don't give away Weaver if you're going to pick Lifestealer, and I think they'll be in much better shape.
I think it should be a rule, or at least a guideline.
Mhm.
If you're 1-0 behind on any best of 3, what you need to do is try to get a lineup that wins the lanes.
Okay.
Doesn't matter, like, if it's not your best lineup. Like, you can't afford, when you're one game away from getting out of the tournament, to just say, we're going to lose the lanes by design because we're
We're gonna pull LG to China.
Yeah.
And hopefully late game goes a little bit better.
Yeah, you just can't do that,
Yeah.
especially with Zenith against Orange. These teams, as we said, they know each other so well.
Mhm.
If Orange gets ahead, they will stay ahead for the rest of the game.
Right.
I think they could have done their lanes a little bit differently. I didn't necessarily think that it was the lineup that was bad. They could have just laned differently. They could have put a Lifestealer versus a Lone Druid. They could have just put, like, they could have done Darkseer mid if they wanted to. Beastmaster works okay, but you can just Ion Shell and then just jungle and just try and avoid him until you get levels. And then after the laning phase, his Astral's not a problem at all. And then on bottom lane, they can just sacrifice someone, or again, put Darkseer there to Ion Shell creep, just sacrifice Beastmaster. All he really needs is levels. He doesn't need too much farm, and then play maybe aggressively on Mushi, who's really weak in the early game, or play aggressively on the Lone Druid with the Nyx. I think just more flexibility overall. Like, the Lifestealer just went bottom and kept dying. They didn't move. They didn't change the game plan. Just seemed very firm in their strategy. Okay, we're gonna put Lifestealer bottom. He should win his lane, but if he doesn't, we don't know what to do. We'll just keep feeding, and then you have to adapt as the game goes.
Yeah, they didn't make any adjustments. I did feel like they were somewhat limited because they didn't have good supports to move. You have a Keeper Light, you have a Wisp.
Right.
You can change their lanes, but they can't really go gank Mushi. They can't really put pressure on him. So I felt they were just guaranteed to lose mid no matter what.
Yeah. Well, losing mid versus OD is
Expected.
right? But again, you can shut your Syllabear down. You can just stem the bleeding.
Yeah. It could have gone better for them, and dying at level 1 didn't have rage, didn't help. So
Feast level 2.
or level 2 rather, yeah.
Right. I don't know. Yeah. It was just
Wasn't their best
questionable play.
performance. It's a best of 3 though, so they'll head into game 2. Keys to game 3 for you? What would you like to see differently from Zenith?
I just want to see them pull something just different, right? We saw them use Timbersaw living armor. Why don't they do that again? Even
Tree
without
got
living
nerfed.
armor. Even without living armor, I think that they can still pull that off and have some sort of surprise factor. People are used to just playing versus Lifestealer and Darkseer and Beastmaster. Just pull something out and throw Orange off their game. They were just so prepared to take advantage of any weakness of their lineup, and they had a lot. Zenith had a lot of weaknesses in their laning and in their lineup. But again, if you throw them something that they don't know what to deal with, you can just take a game, at least one.
I'm gonna call that Spirit Breaker.
Spirit Breaker,
Yes.
Space Cow, as you like to call
Space
it.
Cow.
I think he'd own.
Incoming. I'm going to go. I always say this: 700 base HP, 5 armor, 3 spells that go through BKB. You just need threats and you kill people.
Yeah.
What's not to like?
You know what? You
What?
could do a 5-man gang party on him, and he'd be like, yo,
Yo,
I charge
ran
across the
away.
map with my Superman cape. He doesn't have one yet. He needs to be a cosmetic item because...
Absolutely.
Yeah, because, damn. Spirit Breaker.
That cow is strong.
You heard it here from Bruno first.
Super
Yeah.
Cow.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean, jokes aside, I'm 100% sure that maybe after TI3, but at some point, the cow will be a top pick.
Yeah?
I'm sure of it.
Best Nyx bomb ever.
Yes. I mean, it is really good. I don't understand why teams are not picking. I talk to lots of teams and they are saying like, yeah, it's a great hero. So why don't you pick it?
They're all
Well,
saving
we're
for
kind of
TI3,
waiting
man.
for someone else to do it first, right? So we can copy them.
You know, Team Liquid did actually run it as
yeah,
a support,
they
right?
did run it as a support, and I think a Russian team ran it as solo mid.
Mm-hmm.
Both worked. I think the support works better because you really don't need as many items. You just
The offlane,
Get
man.
tried.
Solo offlane.
solo
Sure.
offlane as well. You get rune control. It's.
I like to do jungle Spirit Breaker in my pub games because you come out of jungle to the mid lane.
Can you do that?
Yeah, why the hell not? Just pull, just stack.
pull and-
Just
yeah.
tell like
That sounds atrocious, actually.
no,
Jesus.
man. Well,
Jesus, Lumi. Well, on the note of Jungle Spirit Breaker, guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be live with Orange versus Zenith Game 2. Zenith now trailing 0-1 in that best of 3. Stay tuned.